Hey guys, so I dropped out of a prestigious university a while ago, and for a long time, I couldn't seem to start figuring things out and getting some traction. And this really hit a point where I was so stuck. I was like, I dropped out of a great college, I'm not getting a job, what is wrong with me? And it really felt like my whole world was crashing down on me. And I think there are some ambitious people out there, or just people that want to live with autonomy and take control of their life. And that can be very scary when you don't necessarily know what to latch onto. And there are all of these tempting things like college or a job that would provide a lot of the clarity and structure that you would make you more comfortable. And so in this video, I'd like to explain the three core things that allowed me to start finally experiencing some direction and traction. And this is not like this is the business model that's popular. You got to try you cannot have a tree or like branches of a tree if you don't have the seed. So I'm trying to pinpoint how you can learn so that you can begin that really kick off that seed here. Okay. So whether you're aware of it or not, there is a feedback loop taking place that you want to know about. And it's that you will start learning and you will take action and you consume and you create. That's it. And then you get feedback and reiterate naturally. So you consume and you create. The problem is that a lot of people are learning about this, that, and the other thing, and they're taking action about related to things that aren't necessarily connected to what they're learning about. And then they're getting feedback from sources that aren't even in touch with what they're learning about and acting on. And they don't even know what they want to it's just kind of chaotic, and it's hard to progress forwards if you're stuck in this chaotic cycle. So in order to experience change, this is delta, the symbol of change in math. And there are three friends I want to introduce you to that allowed me to truly begin that journey successfully. The first one is Phil. And the next one is Sal, is my other friend. And the third one is Clara. So Phil loves to travel. He loves to explore. He isn't necessarily an introvert or an extrovert. He just loves to take in the world. Sal loves connecting with people. Sal is a people guy. He loves to give them things. He loves to have them give him things, and he loves the relationships. And Clara, there's a reason why Clara is at the bottom. See, Clara understands that there's no finding ourselves. It's not like we one day are able to see ourselves. She understands that we are all of us have our true selves within us. All we need to do is part the dirt and start to penetrate that true self. So what Clara really understands is the concept of flossing and brushing. She flosses, she gets the dirt and debris out of the way. And in other words, she journals, she declutters her mind, she writes these things out, she gets them out of her system to really declutter what is shackling her heart. And then she meditates. In other words, she brushes in order to reach that clean self. So now that the dirt has started to go away, she can start journeying towards that source. So she flosses and she brushes. And that's why she's at the bottom, because that's truly the foundation. Okay, so kind of, you might be able to guess here, philosophy is what Phil is really good at. Wow, that's a terrible. Okay, Okay. So philosophy is Phil's thing. Now, why do you want to learn about philosophy? This is like the first of the three things. And philosophy, everything is whatever, okay? There's whatever thing, but it all stems from philosophy. It's the most abstract foundation of anything. So big or small decisions, like if you're in a relationship or something, for example, and you don't know if you want to take like a specific stance or act a certain way, that's not about that small decision. That stems from bigger and bigger values. And it's pretty funny. Like we ask people like, if you ask people like what their values are, most people don't really have an answer. And philosophy allows you to start getting a moral code. And you can do this, just learn about philosophy. There's like Hinduism, Stoicism, like it really doesn't matter. And there's a common thread in philosophy, which is that you'll start to be able to freaking relax. Because instead of looking like, what's this person doing, what's this person up to, you've started to solidify the moral code by picking like what works for you and seeing things in context. You can start to relax. You don't have to try to chase this stream of consciousness and that thing and the other thing, what this person's doing. You just chill. And you start to experience more effortless action because you're operating from not a place of what other people are doing, but from your own moral code. And on that note, you start to experience awareness and perspective. It's very common that people have a stream of consciousness and they get kind of sucked into it. And philosophy, spirituality, that whole umbrella allows you to prevent yourself from getting sucked into those things. Basically, my point is that it allows you to contextually understand the macro. The sense that, okay, maybe you're in a city and that's part of a state, which is part of a country, which is part of a continent, which is part of a earth, etc. And when you're just stuck in the day-to-day micro, you just go from one thing to another thing to another thing. When you see the whole context of it all, nothing is as new. You can start to connect patterns. Like a wedding isn't this huge event. It's like, oh, it's just another one of those. It's one of those processes of life. And philosophy allows you to start seeing that macro, and that allows you to access awareness so that you're not seeing things as these minuscule things. You can see them in the context of other patterns. Okay, so that's Phil. Now I want to talk about Clara. Clara has a lot of clarity. Okay, so there's one thing that you it's your primary focus. Like your mission here is to answer the question, what would bring you joy? And that's what you want to follow. If you know the answer to that, your self-expression circle, your pillar of the three pillars, like you're good. Like if you know what brings you joy, like go, freaking go. Okay? All right. Like if your joy comes from like, oh, I'm really interested in like pillows. Like don't worry what the final result of your pillow company has to look like or what company you want to work for. Learn about pillows. Maybe there's like a specific component of them that you're super intrigued about. If you have any curiosity, like joy/curiosity, like go, like pursue that. Okay, that's like self-expression. And if you aren't as sure and you're kind of in the midst of it a little bit, what you also, and even if you do know, like, intuition is what you really want to start to develop, because intuition is your inner guidance. A lot of people have these gut feelings about things, or they could feel it in their heart, and it might seem just like something you want to just shove to the side, like, oh, whatever. When you start listening to your intuition, you start following guidance that is extremely helpful. So learn about self-expression, in particular, the things that would bring you joy, and the things that would, how to develop your intuition. Like, search up like intuition meditations, like, how do I develop my intuition? Who are some intuitive people? Like, intuition, anything is important, because that's, how do people not talk about this? Like, intuition will tell you like what to do, bro. It's not what are other people doing. And you'll start to decipher like what are your emotional feelings and what are your intuition feelings. There's a difference there, and the only way to start developing that is to learn about it and practice it. So again, it's a feedback loop. You're not just learning about these things, you'll naturally start to take action on them. And that's self-expression. But self is, you can't, like, everything we do is self-expression. The words I'm saying right now is something coming from my internal world and entering the external world. So we're all expressing, whether you like it or not, the air that you breathe. And that can either be kind of pretend, like a fake version of you, or it can be a true version of you. And the only way you can make it a true version of you is by covering the self, because you don't want to just focus on expression, you want to focus on the self, so that your expression is from the self. And that's what Clara is really good at. That's the flossing and brushing that Clara does to get rid of the dirt and go towards the source. And in order to do that, it's just self-improvement. Like, you can't just expect the answers to show up if you haven't like allowed them to have fertile ground to reveal themselves. And that's why self-improvement is part of, that's why that's part of self-expression. Like, it's, like I said, everything we do is something coming from our internal world to our external world, whether you're crunching numbers at your job, creating cringe YouTube videos like this one, or playing a video game and speaking with your friends. That's, the more you can cover yourself, the more that expression will be joyous and true to you. I think I spent a bit too much time on that. If you're still watching this, then you're like really like making a lot of progress. I don't know. All right. So Phil, that was Phil. That was Clara. And then we talked about Phil. The last guy is Sal. And Sal naturally is a powerhouse with sales. And so basically, let me just sum this up for you really quickly. We talked about you, and the world is out here. Other people and the world are over here. And we really, like, self-expression is here. Philosophy and the world and other people are over here. And sales is what allows that to connect. So everything is relation. There's no one thing without being related to another thing. So this is not just them giving to you. This is also you giving to other people. So you just want to learn about sales. How can you provide value to people? And that in turn will show you how you can receive from other people. Anything about sales. Sales consists of writing, marketing, speaking, charisma, a gazillion different things. Anything regarding sales is super important, because it's what allows you to, you've taken care of yourself and there's the world outside of you. Now you just need to connect it and share it. You can't, you could have a good product. Yourself is a product, and sales is what allows you to get that product into the hands of other people, and share it so that they get value and you get whatever they give you. So sales is the third pillar. And again, this is clearly like a very foundational set of material. This is not specifically particular things. This is how to do what you want to do. And devoting the time and energy to learn about these things is game changing. It's not just learning about a bunch of different things and not seeing how they actually, and like just going in this chaotic ball for a long time without making progress. These things are, my friends Phil, Clara, and Sal have, they're very helpful. So I hope that this makes sense. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out.